What's going on, everyone? So, two guys I was excited to kind of see thus far in Summer League was Trey Jemison and Christian Koloko. And if I'm being honest, they've kind of been underwhelming, especially Trey Jemison. And I really like Trey Jemison. Right? He's big, physical, strong, not afraid of squabble. He's got the size, the toughness. Right? That dude is just a mountain. Right? He plants down and you're not moving him. And he would be great for kind of like the Lakers need. And I've always talked about, even last year, I was like, bring in Trey Jemison, let him be a 6 foul a game guy. Right? No one's looking for Trey Jemison to come in and be that, 30-minute guy that's your starting center or even your primary backup. You're looking for him to kind of be a guy that's he's kind of that enforcer. He's kind of that goon for you. He's the guy that's not afraid to bang down low with the big boys, right? Get a technical, flagrant, give me a good hard foul, nothing dirty, but just a good hard playoff foul. Like that's what I look and see with Trey Jemison. Christian Koloko, you kind of look at, he's like the Jackson Hayes, but gives you the floor space. He can knock down the three ball. And you've seen him in Summer League kind of a little comfortable shooting the three ball, but neither guy has really looked great. Like neither guy has really looked NBA ready. Like that's the guy that we want coming off the bench as like our third big. And not just that, but you also bring in a Jackson Hayes. It's like, how much do you need Christian Koloko? Right? Like now, they don't have spots on the main roster, right? So you're not bringing either on the main roster. So you're looking to bring them in on a two-way. But even on a two-way, it's like, I'd rather you bring in a Kaluma, right? I'd rather you bring in a Eric Dixon, right? Like guys like that, I'd rather you bring those guys in, maybe even one of these guards or somebody like that you can kind of bring in on a two-way, then go and bring in Christian Koloko, who you basically have with Jackson Hayes, or bring in a Trey Jemison, he's not looked good out there. He just hasn't been. I expected him to show a little bit more dominance, right? Trey Jemison in particular. Christian Koloko, he's only played 2 games so far, and I know Trey Jemison didn't play the last game, but you saw him in the California Classic, and he just looked lost out there at times, right? He looked like out of position at times, right? Like I thought. Because he had games and moments in the NBA. And he had moments where you're like, ooh, there might be something there with him, right? That might be the answer here in several ways, right? He's young enough to where you can kind of develop him over a couple years. But then I wanted to see a little, at least kind of what we saw in spots, but regularly in Summer League, right? You're playing lesser competition. You're playing, his role isn't this like super expansive role, but that's basically what he's doing regardless. And again, he's just kind of out there. And I don't know if that was like is purposeful. Right? Like I don't know if the Lakers are kind of like, hey, just go out there and do cardio and kind of do, get spots here and there, but just kind of more for reps and stuff. But even then, it's just like, he's getting blown by. He's not really like he hasn't been the enforcer that I wanted to see. He hasn't been. He's looked kind of like out of place and out of sorts at times. Right? It's like he doesn't know. And maybe it's Summer League and. The coaching isn't as tight and everything's not as tight. And, you see some guys that like, they need better understanding. They need to, okay, this is where you are. You stay in this box where, maybe he has a little more free reign. So he kind of doesn't know what to do. I don't know. I wish I could talk to him and Lindsey Harding and stuff and kind of see like, okay, like what's the problem here, right? Why is he looking so, again, kind of lost out there at times? And so I'd rather take a chance on some of these other guys, right? Like an Eric Dixon is a guy that can immediately come in, play small ball center, play the power forward, gives you like that Julius Randle light type guy who is still young enough to, give you a year or two, but is already NBA ready, shoot the basketball, score the basketball. I think he would just have a bigger impact, right? Secondly, even same thing with like a Christian Koloko. I'd rather bring in like a Kaluma who can slot in 3 through 5 for you because he's 6'9", 230 and has that 7-foot wingspan. I think it's like 7'1" or something like that, right? Like I'd rather go with that and bring those guys in, right? And then, you could use your third spot maybe for Koloko or Jemison, but Lakers have right now, obviously things could change, depending on trades and stuff like that. But right now they got DeAndre Ayton, and I know people keep saying like, oh, he's not going to stay healthy all year. That's fine, right? Like, hopefully he's playing, at least 65 games. But I mean, the days of guys playing all 82 games are gone. There's very few guys that actually do that, right? So Ayton's giving you 65 games. Jackson Hayes, I'd prefer as your third big, right? But okay, for right now, unless another guy becomes available. And then Maxi Kleber kind of gives you that floor spacer. Now, if a Nikola Vucevic or, if Al Horford decides he wants to go to Lakers or something like that, then yeah, you bring that in. But then that's even more reason not bring in Jemison. It's even more reason to not bring in Koloko, right? Like, if Koloko was out there just dominating and just looked like he was clearly better than everybody, but no, I mean, like, you look at kind of like even like the Pelicans. It's like you have Queen and all these guys just like beating him off the dribble, just bullying him, and he's just got that frail frame. And it's like, do we really need another one of those? You have Jackson Hayes. Like, do you really need another kind of smaller floor running center? I'd rather just keep working with that. Right? Like if Koloko was 22. Then yeah, it's like, okay, well, you can kind of keep him around for a couple years and develop. No, he's 25. He just turned 25 in June, but he's still 25, right? And then same thing with Trey Jemison. Jemison's 25. He's going to be 26, a month into the season. And it's like, okay, well, you got Jackson Hayes, right? And it's like, okay, well, Jackson Hayes, he's the same age. He's 25. He just turned 25 in May. I'd rather just continue to develop him. Just keep letting him sign 1-year deals. Keep developing him because all three guys are the same age. Jackson Hayes, we've seen on any given night can go out there and fill in that starting role for you. He's the ideal Luka type of center. He's not a guy that I want regularly doing that. But, Ayton gets the night off because he's dealing with a little nagging injury. Or he gets the next 3 games off. You know that Jackson Hayes can go out there and play that role for you. Jackson Hayes, at least during the regular season, will be fine. And he can still help you and lead you to wins. And those kind of things, like, I'd rather that than go and waste the time with Jemison and Koloko. I'd rather kind of just let them go and let another team, if another team wants to go take the chance on them, fine. Let them go take the chance on them. And if they're great for those teams, then that's good. But again, you got Jackson Hayes. Right? Like, how long are you going to keep those two on two ways? How long are they going to be there? And you could argue it'd be nice to have a center, in case the bottom kind of falls out for the Lakers at the center position. But again, I'd rather the Lakers go get, like I said, an Al Horford or a Nikola Vucevic who gets bought out, or go make a trade for one of these guys, and then you have that guy to step in. And then you have Jackson Hayes as your backup. And if you still have Maxi Kleber. So it's like, even then, like, again, it's just, what does Jemison and Koloko give you? And look, they still have a couple games. Maybe my opinion changes. Maybe, as we kind of move and progress through this summer league, maybe I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? I was wrong early on. Fine. But I don't think that we're going to see something where it's like, gotta keep, like, yeah, Koloko's it or Jemison's it. I'd rather you kind of, I just don't see where they fit in right now. Right? Like, and I just think you can find another one. Like, I think you could find like, there's always going to be that 22-year-old center that's just floating around that you might be able to bring in. Like, I don't look at Jemison and Koloko as like, man, these, like, you're never going to be able to find a guy like that. Like, there's 10 of them right now that the Lakers could look at. Like, there's 10 of them in Summer League right now that are, that are probably not going to make rosters that you could bring in on a two-way to let them kind of develop, right? So it's just kind of my thoughts. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.